Yeah, guys, I'm driving. I'm trying to keep focused. God has been showing up, just showing up and showing out, just showing up and showing out. And I've noticed that not only with people in the prime light that are getting exposed, it's people that are small everywhere is getting exposed. So God has been really just telling me, make sure you get yourself in order. You are not just because you are I love you and you are a part of me doesn't mean that you don't have to follow my commandments. That means that you definitely have to, because you know right from wrong. So just having me to say, get your house in order, make sure it's in order, make sure it's intact, and try to be on the up and up, because a lot of things are just being revealed. With that being said, it was one thing that in the Bible that just reminded me of, slothfulness and wealth. And it said, the meek shall inherit the earth, and I thought about that because this lady kept calling me meek. You're so meek and mild. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm nowhere near mild. You may be sometimes gentle, but I can be very rough at times. It's just, it depends on what is it, what is necessary. And then I was like, yesterday when I thought about it, I was like, dang, what is meek anyway? I need to I need to find out what meek is, because maybe I'm not having the full connotation of the full effects of what meek really is. So when I started looking at meekness, it was talking about having power and authority, but not using it to its full capacity. Very gentle, still humble, and I was like, oh, so if I look at it that way, because I thought meek was being a silent person, being that kind of person would inherit the earth. But when you read it and you understand what meekness really means, it does mean gentleness, but it also means that it doesn't mean that you don't have strength. It means mighty strength. Like, you have a lot of strength, but you use discernment as to how far to use it. You don't have to go, you're strong enough to break someone down, but you don't use because you have the power to do so. If it's not going to help someone else, you have to use discernment as far as knowing when and how to operate and to use certain tactics and to do certain things. God tells us to teach you to observe all things, and you're supposed to do things in right timing. Just because you're strong enough to do something or to tell someone off doesn't mean that it's really required right then. And that was something God has taught me, meekness. God has taught me meekness, because I'm telling y'all, sometimes I'm so petty. They call me Petty Betty for a reason. So I had to learn that, and I didn't even understand it. I was really learning meekness until today when I read it, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's really, really great. I hope FedEx dropped my package off today. But anywho, so that was something that I had to grasp onto. Okay, you know what? Maybe that was God sending her to me, saying, because nothing happens on accident. You are meek and mild. The person who was meek that they talk about in the Bible was actually David. I didn't even think about David. I just thought about David being a warrior. David being, this person that beat Goliath. He had mighty strength. He was sometimes ruthless as to what he wanted, but the more I started reading that scripture over and over in that verse and the verses about David, I started understanding what meekness was and how it applied to his life. David tried to use a lot of reasoning in his methods, and he always went back to God, even when he messed up. Okay, I messed up, but I understand, what's going on. I understand that I'm not in control. I have power, but I have to use it correctly. And because I didn't, this is the consequence. Thinking about Bathsheba and all of that. So So yeah, it's just, I was just like, wow, and I look at things that I went through. There were a lot of times when I could have FedEx is coming. That truck got to drop off. It had to drop off what I needed. I done seen 3 FedEx trucks today. Right down on the street that I live in. But anywho, but I started looking at all the things that I went through, and I could have said some things outside of the way, and I could have been right, but I really did choose, to the best of my ability, to follow the precepts of God, the words that God wrote in the Bible, as far as the challenges that went into my life, as far as dealing with people, and how they portray themselves to me, how people treated me really, really dirty, really, really foul, really upsetting, really hateful, really vengeful. I tried to use the precepts of God, and doing that, it gained me so much access versus me taking things into my own hands, and trying to do, what is they doing? And trying to do it myself. So I understand that now, and I have more access to things. Now the FedEx truck, huh? I have more access to things that I would not have had. I talk about some of the spiritual warfare that I went through, and some of the horrible things that went on during that time. But I could tell you this: they got the same license plate, huh? But I can tell you this, that God is my provider. He is my healer. He is the great deliverer. He is the great conqueror. There's no one better than him. There's no one greater than him, nor would there ever be, above or beneath. And what he puts in that Bible is just what it is. So I understood what meekness really, really meant after seeing that. But yeah. So, there you have it. It also says that a person who loves pleasure will be a person in poverty. And this shows, so that was the part that I was telling about meekness, but poverty, I wanted to talk about that because, that was something that I when I say literally had to deal with, I literally had to deal with, man, like, without hesitation. Like, you thinking like, and I had to think about this with my family. There's a lot of my family and a lot of people, I don't want to be funny or anything like that, because sometimes we didn't have any other ways but to relax and to relieve our stress certain ways for decades, for centuries. That's what, a lot of people of color, especially people who were slaves or people who were descendants of slaves, had to do. They used it as a relief. But in this day and age, and oh my goodness, okay. But in this day and age, we have gotten to the point where we do celebrate. When we come together, we do celebrate. We keep that part of it, but we don't keep the part of not taking in all pleasure. Everything that glitters is not gold. And I will tell you that when you're dealing with gold is a heavy price. Gold is a heavy price. Think about how much gold weighs. How much do you, how much it costs, and then how much would you have to labor for it? Nothing in life is free. And people want to say salvation was free. Salvation was a gift given to you, but it was not free. Jesus paid it. Like, you didn't pay for it, but it was free. That cracks me up about a lot of people who always say, well, nobody gave me nothing. And it's like, nothing in life is free. So why are you expecting it? You know, if somebody, and even if somebody's giving it something to you, this is something that I learned. Somebody's giving you something, just understand there's something higher to gain. Because how did they get it? How did they, the thing is not to get what they have, but find out how did they have the means to give to you and still be able to make it and survive. That's the thing that you want to understand. That's the thing that you want to get. You know, you just don't want to get the breadcrumbs. That cracks me up. Like, and let me tell you, if that's what all you can do right now, that's cool. That's all you can do right now. But don't make that a permanent thing. Like, nothing in life is free. And even if you're getting something for free, you got to go and get it. There's so many people that I know, man, and if you have these people, you better detach as quick and as far as you can. I got people who swear up and down they need so much stuff. Oh, I need these services, I need this. And then you tell them how to do it. And all they got to do is get on the internet. If they don't know how to use it, they can even call in. Where I'm at, they can call in. And get assistance filling out the doggone paperwork. If they can't even type, which most of them can. It's not like they have any handicaps or anything. But they have a system where someone will get up and fill that thing out. Fill the thing out for you. We'll call you back. The only thing they have to do is dial some numbers. Y'all, I had to go back in because it's a little bit cold. The only thing they have to do is dial numbers. And they refuse to do so. And then want to use the excuses, well, nothing good really happens to me. That's because you're not applying yourself. And it's one thing to encourage, but it's another thing to baby someone and to let someone sit in their own, wallow in their own pity. Don't do it. Don't do it by any means. By any means, no. Because then it'll bring you down. But yeah, you have to understand that pleasure will bring poverty to a man. You got to do the things that are uncomfortable. You want to lose weight, but you want to eat all the snacks in the world. That's me, y'all. That's me. That's why I'm eating popcorn now. But it's chocolate popcorn. But anyhow, you want to be financially stable, but you spending money every time you gotta have the latest fashion, the latest Jordans, the latest Yeezys. You gotta have the newest Vans. You gotta have all these things. Pleasure. Where's your pleasure? Get rid of that pleasure. You know? You want to have this, but you don't want to go to work. You don't want to work. You want to floss. You want to have a nice place. You want to live on your own, but you have your own rules, but you don't want to work. It doesn't work like that. It really, really doesn't. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. I'll tell you this. People used to think that I just had it all like, oh, you're a beauty queen. You do this and you're in pageants and all that. That stuff takes a lot of work. I can't look like that every single day because it takes a lot of work to fund it. It takes a lot of work to get everything together, you know. But you see the outside results and you think that's just like, oh, it just came magic. It's certain things I can't do. Can't do. Just can't. And people have to understand that. So those were my things about meekness. Well, about wealth and poverty. And it's really meekness and slothfulness, you know, and pleasures, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna get off of here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Thank you.